What's going on, everybody? TrickzKamikaze here, and today we are going to be discussing the Phantom Troupe's abilities. Okay, let's get right into it. First up, we have our strongest and tallest member of the Phantom Troupe, Uvo. Uvo is a strong guy that has an unflinching spirit, but he does have trouble fighting manipulators and conjurers. He's so strong that he can throw rocks over a long distance, giving them straight up sniper bullets. He can stop bullets at point blank range with just his teeth, and he's been shown to have a really high durability, as he was shown being beaten from Kortopi while he used Rio and Emperor Time. And you know, that really goes to show his physical durability, because he was able to take that damage without even activating Ken. He also has enhanced stamina, as shown as when he took on an army of Mafia members, the 4 Shadow Beasts and Kortopi in one night. So it goes to show that if Kortopi didn't have his ability, I really don't think he would be able to fight Uvo, or defeat him nonetheless. He has high endurance, and his nin ability is called Big Bang Impact. It has the power of a small missile. He can only use this ability with his right hand, and it was stated that he wanted to get this power to the nuclear level, which, looking at how powerful it already was, shows just how much potential he really had. Man, if they had Uvo fight an ant, that would have been an amazing fight. He also has a mighty set of lungs, as shown when he increased his voice so high that it killed one of the Shadow Beasts right next to him, which I have to say was really unexpected, so that's why he's one of my favorite members in the Phantom Troupe. Okay, next up is Finx. He is short-tempered and ruthless. He has great strength, speed, and hand-to-hand combat. He's the second physically strongest person in the Phantom Troupe. He can also increase the strength to his punches when he winds his arm in a clockwise direction, while also increasing his aura. And just to clarify, he doesn't have to manually increase his aura for it to work. It increases his aura while he's winding his arm. And depending on how much he winds his arm, he could be stronger than Uvo, but normally he does not have a chance against him, at least physically wise. And it goes to show how powerful it can get, because he was able to defeat a famously resilient ant with just this ability. And finally, the ability's name is Ripper Cyclotron. That's a pretty cool name, not better than Big Bang Impact, but it's pretty up there. Okay, next up is Franklin. He's the 4th physically strongest person in the Phantom Troupe. He's an emitter. His nin type is double machine gun. His fingertips can turn into powerful aura bullets that can just rip through opponents. He's one of the more normal people in the Phantom Troupe, emphasis on normal, so he doesn't really have that many abilities. Okay, next up is Feitan, or as I like to say, Captain Levi. He's the 5th strongest member in the troupe. He has immense speed, reflex, and agility, a master swordsman, and he's a transmuter. So one of his nin abilities is called Pain Packer, and is activated by his rage. So what he does with this ability is he conjures a suit of armor that protects him from his own technique. His aura output gets a boost, and there are different variations of ability in different suits. Just to be said, we've only seen one of these suits, and I would really like to go see the other suits if we ever get back into the series. Now for his next and final move, it's called Rising Sun. He transmutes his aura into scorching hot heat. His power depends on how damaged he is in battle. He manifests a ball that transforms into a miniature sun. The more damage he's taken, the more it will burn and the more hotter it would be. While he wears his armor, he is supplied a source of oxygen, and he is not harmed by his heat. Okay, next we have the pink Heidi herself, Machi. She's the 6th physically strongest in the Phantom Troupe. She has immense speed and reflexes, great muscle control, and keen intellect. She has something of a sixth sense, as she was able to sense that Nobunaga was being watched by Gon and Killua. Her hunches are usually correct, which Chrollo usually takes advantage of from time to time. She's an expert in stealth, and one of her nin abilities is called Nin Stitches. She can create threads that can sew open wounds or even reattach severed limbs in a short amount of time. Next up is Nin Threads. She can transmute her aura into threads to manipulate her target's movements like a puppet. The longer the thread, the weaker it is. If it was long as the earth, it would be as soft as cotton. If it was only 1 meter long, it could lift a ton. If the threads were to leave her fingers, however, their true strength would drop by a large margin. Next up, and boy oh boy does he have a lot of fucking abilities, Chrollo. He's also one of the most chill and badass people in anime, so he has my respect. Okay, so to start off, he has great perception, enhanced strength. He's 7th to the group in hand wrestling, but that's impressive because specialists are the weakest in doing enhancer skills, which really goes to show how strong he is, and the Phantom Troupe in general. And he has immense speed and reflexes, as shown as when he fought Zeno and Silva at the same time, enhanced agility, and genius level intellect. And he's a master strategist, as he was able to outsmart Kortopi by putting his friends in danger. He avoided Zeno's attack while simultaneously focusing on getting his nin ability, and he prepared a strategy that was sure to kill Hisoka, which it did, by the way. And his main ability for himself anyway is that he can steal other people's nin abilities. Okay, first up is Bookmark. He can maintain access to any ability on the page without touching his book. If he keeps a bookmark on the page and goes to another page, he can use 2 abilities simultaneously. Okay, next up we're going to discuss his stolen abilities. Okay, next up on the list is Indoor Fish. It's a fish that can only survive in a sealed room. It's made out of skeleton and eats human flesh. While a person is eating, they don't feel the effects of it until the fish disappears, meaning they don't feel any pain. Next up is Fun Cloak. This cloak is a conjure ability and can increase and decrease in size according to the user's will. Whoever or whatever is inside the cloth as it shrinks will be stuck in until it goes to original size, as shown when Nobunaga got stuck in it, which was a pretty funny scene for all of us. Next up, teleportation. He can teleport people from one place to another, but it's unknown whether or not he can do this to himself. Next up, Black Voice. It's an ability borrowed by Shalnark, which allows him to manipulate a target by sticking an antenna into them. Next up is the Sun and the Moon. The moon is on one hand and the sun is on the other. By touching a target he can mark, when the 2 marks touch each other, they trigger an explosion. But for it to be triggered at full power, he must hold them for at least 3 to 5 seconds. If he achieves that, the explosion will be powerful enough to kill everyone around the user, except the user himself. And y'all thought I was kidding when I said this man had a lot of abilities. I have 2 more I have to tell y'all. Next up is called Order Stamp, a stamp that when affixed to a target gives the ability to control them. To be able to claim the person as a puppet, the body must have a head and be lifeless. Removing the head will deactivate the ability. It cannot control a large number of bodies, but the orders cannot be too complex. He can control 200 puppets at the same time. Next up is Gallery Fake. With his left hand, Chrollo can conjure an exact replica of that object with his right hand. He cannot replicate inanimated objects, so the copies will look like corpses. He can conjure items but not replicate their effects, and his replicas will disappear after 24 hours. Okay, for his last ability is called Convert Hands. 2 marks on Chrollo's hand. The right one consists of a black ring, which if it touches the enemy, they will take on Chrollo's likeness. The left hand has the opposite effect. This ability only affects appearance. He could probably have far more abilities than what we've been shown, but as of now, that's the only ones we've been shown, so. Okay, next up we have Bonolenov. I hope I didn't butcher that name. He has enhanced strength, he's 8th in the group in arm wrestling, enhanced speed and reflexes, and advanced agility and stamina. As for his nin, he's a conjurer. His first ability is called Battle Canterville, the prologue. He plays music through the holes in his skin. Each song he plays has a different effect, such as the transformation of his own body or the conjuration of objects. Prologue allows him to conjure warrior gear onto his body along with a spear. Next up is Battle Canterville, Jupiter. He conjures a giant spear that has the look of Jupiter around it to crush his enemies. The enemies are not safe when this is activated if they are able to hear his music. Once the dance is completed, the spear will keep chasing the target at tremendous speed. Next up is his last ability called Battle Canterville Metamorphosis. This ability allows him to transform into a great number of things, but is hampered because of his self-proclaimed lack of proficiency. Look guys, I cannot pronounce shit, okay? Next up is Shalnark. Shalnark carries 2 antennas on his person. They are shaped after bats. The tip is sharpened to allow him to stick his antenna into a target. He uses a purple cell phone to activate his ability. He has enhanced speed and strength, GN's level intellect that seems able to deduce that Great Island exists in the real world. As for his nin type, he's a manipulator. Okay, for his first ability, it's called Black Voice. If he hits an opponent with a special antenna, Shalnark gets complete control over their mind and body. He can also set them up to autopilot. Next up is autopilot mode. After he places an antenna on himself and gives himself an order, Shalnark's ability manipulates his body on autopilot and he momentarily gains immense aura, which results in a speed and strength boost. Once he has entered autopilot mode, he cannot get out of it until his task is completed. Once he's accomplished his task, he will be in intense muscle pain for 2 to 3 days. He also cannot be manipulated while this is active because a manipulated person cannot be controlled by multiple people. Next up, the sexy MILF herself, even though she's not a MILF, but whatever. Pakunoda. She has enhanced agility, endurance, and strength, advanced speed, keen intellect, and is a proficient marksman. She fights using her 2 guns, and she's also an expert in tailing. And surprisingly, she's a specialist. That's honestly the last thing I expected her to be. Okay, for her first ability, and I'm probably gonna butcher this name, Psychometry. She can read the conscious thoughts of any person that she's in physical contact with and can extract memories by asking specific questions. You can't lie to her either because she extracts her target's purest memories. She can also see the past of objects. Okay, and for her final ability, it is called Memory Bomb. She can share her memories to someone by shooting it into another person using a revolver and nin bullets called memory bombs. It does no damage, but if she shoots someone with their own memories, they will lose their own memories forever. Okay, next up is the second one for the Phantom Troupe, Shizuku. She's ranked number 12 in physical strength in the Phantom Troupe. She has enhanced strength, speed, reflexes, and agility. She's a proficient strategist as she's proved herself to be fairly good at finding enemies' weak spot in a fight. So Shizuku is a conjurer, and her nin ability is called Blinky. She conjures up a vacuum cleaner that can inhale a number of non-living objects, but not anything that she considers living or that can be created by nin. Only the last object to be vacuumed can be regurgitated. It can also remove poisons and gases from living bodies. She uses it in combat as a club and has to suck up the enemy's blood through their wounds. Okay, next up is Kortopi. He's the physically weakest person in the Phantom Troupe, but since he is in the Phantom Troupe, he should have a considerable amount of speed and stamina, and he's a conjurer. His nin ability is called Gallery Fake. When he touches an object with his left hand, he can conjure an exact replica of that object with his right hand. He cannot replicate living things, and when he does conjure an item, it doesn't copy the effects and they vanish after 24 hours. Before their disappearance, Kortopi is able to track the movements and positions of each and every copied object by touching the original. Next up is Nobunaga. We don't really have enough about him, so his is going to be really short. He has preternatural perception, enhanced speed, reflexes, strength, and agility, keen intellect, and he's a master swordsman. And he's a master at, and I hope I'm saying this right, Lido or Lado. Anyone in his range will be sliced down. Now for the last one, our best boy, Hisoka. Hisoka has preternatural perception. He has been shown to be able to sense not only the presence but also the position of people hidden with Zetsu. He has immense strength, ranking third in the Phantom Troupe for arm wrestling, enhanced speed, reflexes, agility, and stamina, and immense endurance. He has genius level intellect as shown as when he was able to manipulate the spiders into staying into York News so he could fight Chrollo. He is a master strategist as seen when he was fighting Goto and Gon. He is a master at hand-to-hand combat as shown when he was fighting Gon and Castro. And he is a master weapon specialist as seen when he uses his signature cards to kill people. And lastly, before we get into his nin, he is a master of stealth as we seen when he was spying on Killua. Okay, starting with his nin type, he's a transmuter. His ability Bungee Gum has both the properties of both rubber and gum. It's extremely durable and flexible and can be used for both offense and defense. He can extend it towards his opponent, making it a great ranged weapon as well. He can pull his enemies near him with Bungee Gum. Its max length before it tears is 10 meters. He can also attach it to surfaces to retreat at high speeds or using it for traps. He can use it to pump his heart as to revive himself or keep his heart going. And finally, Texture Surprise. He can apply his aura to any smooth or flat surface and manifest an image on it to change its appearance. Against Castro, he was able to hide his wounds by using this ability, which shows it could take a great mental toll on people. And that's about it, guys. I've explained all the abilities of the Phantom Troupe members. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It shows me that you want more Hunter x Hunter videos like this. Also, if you don't want to miss any more videos, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell at the top. If you would like to keep up with me and interact with me more, you can follow me on my Twitter at TrickzKamikaze. I also have an Instagram at Tricks_Kamikaze and a Twitch at TrickzKamikaze. And let me know how you feel about the Phantom Troupe in the comment section below. And without further ado, I will see my fellow hunters later. Bye guys.